We've got a month and a half to go until Persona 3 Reload launches, and it seems new information keeps on pouring out from this highly anticipated revisit through Iwatodai and the Dark Hour. We've got a brand new interview from the Reload team to go over, giving us insight into new aspects of the newly introduced Link episodes and dorm life, in addition to the Persona 3 Reload official soundtrack, plus a sneak peek at the network functionality and much more. It's a massive new Persona 3 Reload update you are not going to want to miss. And speaking of something you're not going to want to miss, go ahead and participate in my ongoing giveaway of the Persona 3 Reload Digital Premium Edition for your chance at winning the most decked out edition of this massive game, including more costumes, BGMs, and the like. And also stop by to participate in my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition giveaway if you're interested in another behemoth of an RPG releasing next February as well. Both links to the giveaways are provided in the description. Persona 3 Reload is introducing a variety of new systems and features that will truly elevate the core Persona 3 experience over the previous games, whether it be the massive Tartarus additions, battle mechanics, and social life systems that have been added. Chief among these social life updates is the brand new Link episode system, where the developers claim will bring new life to Persona 3's exceptional cast, along with a greatly expanded dorm life, where players can engage in a wide variety of activities with their dorm mates that have direct impacts on their stats and battle abilities. In a recent interview with Famitsu, art director Tomohiro Kumagai, game director Takuya Yamaguchi, and producer Ryota Nitsuma discussed the final months of production for the highly anticipated Persona 3 Reload, going over the UI overhaul while also touching up on newly included social features that breathe new life into this iconic Persona title. The surveillance cameras, a particular feature from Persona 3 FES, is present here in Persona 3 Reload, but has been expanded upon, with the game director Takuya Yamaguchi elaborating on what we can now experience in this revamped feature. There are scenes where you can see the characters' rooms as you progress through the main story and social links. Unlike before, when you could only peek through surveillance cameras, there are scenes where you can actually enter the rooms. Entering other members' rooms was quite rare and limited to certain events and social links in the original releases, so more player interactions and other CEASE members' rooms will certainly display each of the characters' personalities more here in Reload, allowing them to shine even more. In addition to these enhanced surveillance camera scenes and room touring, Yamaguchi touched on the new Link episodes for the members of Strega and their living conditions when the player goes out to interact with them. While Yamaguchi wants to leave these Link episodes shrouded in mystery for us to experience for ourselves, he mentions that the members of Strega can very much be visited with new locations being introduced specifically for them. Considering that Strega is a rather otherworldly group, it's unlikely for them to live in an ordinary apartment, right? When adding such details that weren't depicted in the original version, we had to consider them quite a bit, so it wasn't a smooth process. I can't wait to see where these Link episodes and Strega bring us, because these are very, very important characters essential to the core plot. So having them have more of a presence in Persona 3 Reload is a freaking win in my book. Bringing everything back to the dorms, the Persona team state that the dorm will feel even more like home here in Persona 3 Reload by giving the player more options for interacting with their fellow dorm mates and rooms to explore. While the kitchen and rooftop existed in the original version, they weren't used in everyday events. In this game, we wanted to delve even deeper into the daily life spent with friends in the dorm. So as we added elements like side stories and rooftop gardening, we also developed new areas that we ended up including too. Other key differences that were brought into Persona 3 Reload in a more artistic way were further iterated from art director Tomohiro Kumagai, as he mentioned Tartarus, specifically some of the latter floors of the tower, like the Zia block, undergo significant changes and transformations that really make it stand out. He also adds some other details like the police station and how buying weapons works while at the station in Polonia Mall. While buying weapons from the police officer in the station is the same as in the original version, I thought it wouldn't be good to do that transaction in a place visible from the outside. In this game, we've prepared a new back alley for buying and selling. It's these new embellishments and aesthetic variations that I'm really looking forward to experiencing when Persona 3 Reload launches, coming from the perspective of having finished all 3 versions of Persona 3 before. Speaking of versions, while we know Persona 3 Reload will be launching on all the latest hardware and on PC at launch, Yamaguchi did mention that the fast UI and loading should be just as good on older hardware like the PS4 and Xbox One versions, stating that the designers and programmers have made the effort to ensure that each version works well. Speaking of a game that's got your performance, groovy soundtrack, and compelling gameplay completely covered, is a game developed by none other than the sponsor of this video, Atlus. That game is none other than Persona 5 Tactica, available now on the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows PC, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. Tell you what, if you're itching for more Persona content and don't quite want to let go of the incredible cast of Persona 5, then Persona 5 Tactica is the game for you. Persona 5 Tactica is a strategy RPG spin-off title to Persona 5, developed by Atlus and P Studio, tasking players with guiding the Phantom Thieves through dynamic and colorful backgrounds as they fight against the mysterious tyrannical foes known as the Legionnaires in an alternate world. Surrounded by war and oppression, the Phantom Thieves link up with a group of freedom fighters known as the Rebel Corps to stage their offense against their enemies. In Persona 5 Tactica, you've got all the fixings of an excellent strategy RPG, including grid-based navigation and turn-based combat, numerous weapon types, and progressive leveling and party setups. In addition to all that, you've got that Persona element guiding it all, from the Persona summons to Persona abilities, contributing a variety of elemental attacks and fusions that make this Persona strategy game dynamic and fun while keeping you all on your toes. Joker, Morgana, and the rest of the core Phantom Thieves return here, revealing some great new sides to them that we haven't necessarily seen in the core Persona 5 releases, along with 2 new characters that will help you along the way. The game is fun, rewarding, and best of all, it's another great way to spend more time with the excellent cast of Persona 5. Persona 5 Tactica gets an easy recommendation from me, and it's out now for all major platforms. Now, we know Persona 5 Tactica has some awesome music, but look no further than the massive, impressive list of songs we can look forward to in Persona 3 Reload, thanks to the official soundtrack reported by Faz on Twitter. For the English version of the list, we have this user to thank, outlining several dozen tunes that spans Persona 3 Reload soundscape. We discussed in earlier videos that rapper Lotus Juice from the original Persona 3 releases has made his way back in the game, but a new female vocalist, Azumi Takahashi, has been introduced, and in my opinion, excellently carries these iconic tunes. While much of the game's soundtrack has been re-recorded and remixed, we still have no word on whether the classic soundtrack can be swapped in. Introduced in Persona 4 Golden and carried over to the Persona 5 releases, we have the network functionality to dive into here in Persona 3 Reload. This functionality essentially allows players to see what everyone else has chosen to do with their spare time at any given time in the game, where players can choose how to spend their time. We also see that classroom questions are also featured in the network functions, just like the other games, where we can see how the players answer these questions during the numerous quizzes and tests given to the player. This is no doubt going to be a good resource for players trying to answer these questions correctly in order to reap the rewards of all the social stats that come from correct responses. We also got some new screenshots from Atlus going over various aspects of the game, from the facilities on Tatsumi Port Island Station to the Paulonia Mall, Velvet Room, and more. In the numerous trailers we've gotten from Persona 3 Reload so far, we see that this remake really fleshes out Elizabeth of the Velvet Room much more here. Like the older Persona 3 releases, Elizabeth will have requests that the player can optionally partake in, rewarding the player with a number of gear that will help make Tartarus more manageable, and it also looks like these interactions with her are now fully voiced and are greatly expanded upon. It's things like these screenshots here, along with the enormous list of additions that have been made to Persona 3 Reload that we've covered on this channel, that really make me that much more excited to play Persona 3 Reload when it launches in early February. It may not come with the much requested female protagonist from Persona 3 Portable, nor the answer chapter from FES, but this is, without a doubt, looking like the definitive journey of the core Persona 3 experience, and it's a journey I can't wait to partake in. Are you as excited as I am for Persona 3 Reload? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to watch this video going over the massive amount of changes and additions hitting Tartarus in this remake. Stay tuned to the channel for more Persona updates, and thank you as always for your continued support. And I'll see you real soon in the next one.